Okay, so I'm going to start with the Wombo combo overlap and go through the rest of the fight. So we've just moved to this last area. We're killing the technician. The first thing we do is Tanny's tank bomb that goes to the corner. There's going to be a diamond marker right here. That's where Lomac's gate's going to go, and that's where we're going to end up after the tank bomb. You may have to shuffle a few steps over after Tanny's explosion. We're going to stand on the gate, and we're going to get an overlap of blazes and baiting the frontal. This is the set where blazes can either take the gate or they can just walk forward, right? But you are walking towards the soaks. For all the other ones, we're just getting the blazes way out. For this one, we don't do that because we only have a very short amount of time to get everyone in their soaks. So the blazes go towards the soaks. They will go away before the rest of the raid enters that area. So blazes go, the rest of the raid baits. And something I saw that I think we can do, rather than trying to visually see the blue on the ground as your cue to take the gate, what you can do is just go off of your weak aura in the center of your screen saying bait frontal. When that hits 0.0, you just hit your gateway button. Don't worry about looking for blue. Just wait for that timer to hit 0, and then you can just gate. Don't worry about looking for the blue on the ground because that can sometimes be hard to see. We're going to get into our soaks. We only got here a couple times on Friday, but soak number 2 was the one that we failed on twice, and soak number 3 was the other one. 3 is pretty easy to get to from the gateway. 2 is a bit in no man's land. So that's Baz, Notes, Alice, Morales, and Swamp trying to get there. Just thinking right now, Alice is a Void Elf. Maybe this is a good time for Alice to set his Void Elf ahead of time to get there. And maybe Morales uses a rescue or something to bring Swamp into the soak. But we failed number 2 a couple times on Friday, so that's one we definitely need to focus on. We also failed number 3 one time, but I think we had someone dead. That one you should be able to just take the gate and get there. We're going to do those soaks, and then 4 ads are going to spawn. And while we're killing those, it's 2 sets of ads, so 6 total ads. So we have 2 technicians and 4 of the enraged guys, so we need to be really good on soothes to make sure we hit those 4 enraged guys. We're going to start killing them, and we're going to do 1 more set of soaks just standing right where they spawn. After the soaks are over, there's going to be a suppression cast, which is the runaway cast. We're going to run away up this way. We're going to look at our weak aura to tell us when it's safe to stop moving, and that's about where we're going to stop. The boss will be behind us after the explosion. We will probably take a few steps back towards the boss because we don't want to move very far here. We just want to move just enough to get out of that suppression cast. And we're going to end up about here. And then we're going to do a relatively easy set. I believe this is a bait into soaks. Yes, rockets. So we'll do blazes get out, we'll do the bait, and then after the bait we'll go get in our soaks, and it's an easy overlap. After we do this bait, Ali will charge up his bomb and he will run off and dunk right here. When Ali dunks, this portion of the room will turn blue and we will not have it anymore. So for the rest of the raid, we will bait, we will do our soaks, and then we will move up here. And this is where we want to be when we start the intermission. I just want to have probably Madorna stay behind to give Ali a heal or 2 after he alters back. May not be necessary, but let's just make sure we're watching Ali here. Maybe we give him a Blessing of Sacrifice because he has to run all the way over here and then alter back. Just make sure he stays alive because at this point he's a VIP. He can't die. And by the way, back here, after we do this set, Baz will charge up. After we soak, Baz will charge up and dunk. After that, we will get to the intermission. And there's just a couple important things here. So melee, it's very important that you start this intermission right here, because this beam is going to spawn and it's going to move clockwise. So we just want to be standing right next to that beam so we never have to dodge. There's going to be these, what are they called? Sharp shot sentries that spawn. There's going to be a bunch stacked up in melee, and then there's going to be 2 in range. So I'm going to focus on the melee ones first. We're going to melee cleave these down. Our interrupt rotation is Dasky Sweep, Baz Nova, Madorna Sweep, and then Tanny's AoE Blind. I have a weak aura that I need to test one time before I share it, but once I know that's working, I will share it with the 4 people in the interrupt rotation to help you know when to use your CC. If you are not in the interrupt rotation, you do not use any utility. We do not want to DR the stun. We just want to use those 4 CCs and that's it. While the melee are cleaving this down, there are 2 ranged adds back here. And I've split our DPS based on the side of the room that you're on in the next phase. So Tanny's side of the room, you'll hit the middle ad, and Allie will kick that ad. Rugrat's side will DPS the back one, and I will kick it. Now, for these ranged ones, you only need to kick them one time. And after you kick them, they start an uninterruptible cast that does a bunch of damage when it goes off. So we want to kick with 1 or 2 seconds left on the cast. It's like a 10-second cast. So you do not kick unless it is assigned or there is like 1 second left on the kick and someone messed up. We only kick one time. And if we kick early, everyone has to swap DPS to kill that thing before it explodes. So it is a late, controlled kick. Do not kick early. So here are the groups for P2, and this is what determines which ad you were killing if you're ranged in the previous picture. So I'm going to refer to this group as Tanny's group and this group as Rugrat's group, just based on your tank. So Tanny's group, ranged, will hit the middle one. Rugrat's group will hit the back one. And then like Lomac and Allie for this set, you guys are going to be in Tanny's group and you're going to hit the middle one. Myself and Adrian, we're going to hit the back one. We kill those and then we start the phase 2. And then phase 2, this is again how things look. This picture is exaggerated just to show who is in which group. In reality, when we're fighting, right, we're going to be more spread out. But this picture is just to show you who is soaking what. So obviously these players are going to be more spread out when we're actually fighting, but this picture is just showing us who's who. So starting on the left, which I'm always going to refer to as Rugrat's group or Rugrat's soak, is these 6 players. We must have 5 in every soak. If we have less than 5, we die. So we have an extra person in here to begin with. And every time there's a frontal, you're going to press a personal if you have one. The frontal is the only dangerous part of phase 2. So if you have a defensive available or have a personal available, you're going to press it when your team is going to soak. We're going to start with Tanny's team. So Tanny's team is going to take the first soak once this phase begins. So Tanny will have threat at the start of this phase. This phase is similar to the start of heroic Gallywix. We're tossing the frontal cone back and forth, right? So Tanny's team will go first. Rugrat's team will take the second one, and then there will be a total of 4, 2 for each team before we phase to the next area. In the middle here, we have the VIPs, so that is the people who have dunked a bomb, and we have some extra people as well. These players will not help with the frontal soaks unless people are dead. We have a weak aura from Liquid that helps us with these soaks to tell you to soak or not, and I have a note that helps it determine who should be put in which soak. There's one critical part about it that we need to be aware of. It only wants to put 5 people in each soak. We want to do 6. So I don't have WoW open, so I can't look at the note, but I think Cody and Dylan are the people that need to ignore the weak aura from the beginning, because it's going to tell you wrong information because you are the 6th name in the note. So you need to be soaking even though the weak aura tells you not to when it is your team's turn. If we have people dead, it will start to pull extra people from the center in to help with that soak. So if 2 people are dead on Tanny's side, I think I had Dasky be the first person pulled over, so Dasky will see, hey, soak this on a weak aura in the middle of his screen. So that will automatically give us a backup, but it is a backup of 5 people, not 6. So everyone has to get in it in order for us to not wipe. We'll do Tanny, Rugrat, and then after those, Rugrat will run off and he will dunk right here. Rugrat will dunk right here. Dylan will go with him to rescue him back after he jumps off and dunks. After we do that, we will now have 1/4 of the room left. When these guys are dunking, I want Madorna to hang around to give Dylan a heal if he needs it. Maybe play like right there until they're already running back, and then everyone goes to safety over there. So at this point, we'll have 1/4 of the room, and we will do another intermission similar to this one, just with no rotating beams, and there's 1 extra ranged add. So the melee CC will be the same. We'll cleave down that stack, and then there's 3 ranged adds rather than 2. So this time, the VIPs will DPS the back one, and I will kick it. Rugrat's ranged will hit the middle one, or I guess the middle of the ranged ones. Allie will kick it. Allie, you are DPSing the back one, but you are kicking the second one. I know it's a little confusing, but that's the only weird assignment here, is Allie's kicking something that he's not DPSing. This one here, which would be the closest ranged add, this is going to be Tanny's ranged DPS hitting this one. And then I believe melee will finish up their cleave before this dies. So that's why I have Dasky and Baz kicking this. Because they're going to turn around and finish off this one with you. Again, 1 kick. Never kick early. Kick it with 1 to 2 seconds left in order to give us maximum time to DPS. Everyone hits these. You are never targeting the boss here. You will see in this POV that I'm about to watch that this hunter is hitting the boss during this phase. That is wrong for us. We are turbo boosted. We don't need damage. We don't need boss damage. We kill these. And then we just do this until the boss is dead. Boss will be pretty close to dead at this point. We do the same thing. We do Tanny's team and then Rugrat's team, just with a smaller area. So Tanny's team will be over here. Rugrat's team will be over here. And then the VIPs will simply shade over to the other side when the frontal is going the other way. So if it's a Tanny frontal, VIPs are going to move this way. If it's a Rugrat frontal, VIPs are going to move this way, just not to be in it. Okay? All right, so I've already talked for 14 minutes here. Let's start watching the POVs. We're going to start with the melee POV. My daughter's taking a bath, if you can hear the crying in the background. So this is the start of the intermission. And then the melee are going to start right here, right where this warrior is, because there's going to be a beam that spawns right here. And we want to be on the correct side of the beam. And then you can see their CC chain going down, and they're just blowing these technicians up. They die very quickly. And then there's a trick to these beams, melee, and you're going to see it right here. Because we're using the correct area of the room, this beam will never kill you. You never have to dodge this. This beam will go away. Right there. it disappeared before it hit them, so they never had to leave melee range. So you just kill these ads in the center, then you walk this way until the beam goes away. The beam will never hit you. Then we start phase 2. So for us, this would be Tanny's team taking the first soak. Looks like that's in 2 seconds. There it is, hitting those players. And then we have a runaway here. And we simply run away from the boss. And we have a weak ore that tells you that it's safe. And there will be things chasing you. And you simply dodge. And you get safe, wait for it to explode, and go back in. Now, this lightning on the ground, it does hurt. So you simply need to not walk through the lightning. That is the biggest ouchie during this phase. Okay, then we have these big targeted bombs. The players simply get to an edge and stand still. That's all you got to do. Get to an edge and stand still, let others dodge you. If you're stuck in the middle of the room, just stand still in the middle of the room and let others dodge you. We have the blazes like we do in phase 1, but they have longer, it looks like there's an extra line to it. We are going to simply try to move those to the edge and stand still. Let others dodge you. Remember, these small orange bombs, they only do about 3 million damage. It's okay to stand in one if you have to. You should stand in an orange bomb rather than standing in lightning. Orange bombs do hurt less. There is a Giga Blast during this phase. All we're trying to do is not bait it on the VIPs. We're just trying to not bait it to the back right here, right in the middle, so make it a little easier for the VIPs. It's very easy to dodge, but that's all we're trying to do with this Giga Blast. Now for one of these Giga Blasts, and I'll address this in the tank channel, but for one of them, Rugrat's going to have to charge up his bomb, and we'll figure that out later, but it does leave behind the blue orbs that stun. That's the energy for the bombs, so Tanny's going to have a rotation of his immunities, if he has them available, to go soak those whenever Rugrat has threat, so that there's less opportunity for people to accidentally run into them. And you can't really see them, but they're back here. They go away by themselves after about 20 seconds, but if we can have Tanny immune them, that's good. So while I was talking, the first Rugrat soak happened. And then we're just going to have another runaway, and we're just going to casually run away. There's going to be fire chasing you, so just carefully run away. And don't walk in lightning like this guy's doing a good job here, not walking in lightning. Now let's speed up to when the phase changes. We can see that there was waiting. Here, Giga Coils is coming. So we're about to do the Rugrat dunk. I don't know if we can see it from this POV, but we'll see what everyone else is supposed to do. Giga Coils has started. He has already dunked. We didn't see it. That's fine. And look, the boss is at 3.5%? Almost dead as we lose the room. So we will not have much time in this phase. But we dunk, and then we just play in one quarter of the room doing the same thing. So that's where Rugrat and Dylan go dunk. Dylan rescues back. Madorna's hanging out here to heal a little bit. And then they all come over here. And we just do the same thing. Okay. Let's watch the range POV. And then just a note. Baz is generally the VIP with the scariest job. Melee's a little bit more scary than ranged in this phase. So he's the VIP to watch the most. Remember, all 4 of us cannot die. Rugrat cannot die all after he dunks. So there's 4 VIPs for this whole phase. So just make sure all 4 stay alive. So this is a range POV. This is from a kill from a long time ago. but it works for what we need. This is the weak aura that I'm testing to make sure that we have set up right, and I will share it with this CC team when it's time. Here's the long cast. We're kicking it late, and you can see Banchers here is hitting the boss. That is wrong for us. Everyone should be targeting their ad. And this cast, they kicked this one with like 4.5 seconds left, and that one kicked with like 1 or 2 seconds left. DPS them down, make sure, and then this cast here is now uninterruptible. So we have to, that's why we kick late, to give ourselves maximum time to kill them. Range, generally speaking, is just dodging between the outer ring and the inner ring. And there's certain times where you need to be in the outer ring to give melee space. So, and there's a weak aura for that. But in this POV, Banchers is a bomb dunker, so he's hanging out in the middle. But Banchers is essentially me in our comp. So there is the first one. That'll be Tanny's team, and VIPs are nowhere close to it. And I just really want to see, bait, fire, far. So the ranged have this weak aura, and that is telling you to get to the outer ring so that your fire is, there's going to be fire that chases you around, making your fire spawn back here so it's not in the way of the melee when they run away. So there's the fire spawning. We want this in the back just like that so it's not spawning up here. And then suppression goes off. And then these bombs. Now, one thing I didn't note with melee, but it's actually more important for melee. These big bombs make it so that area is safe after it explodes. So the small orange bombs that are kind of randomly placed in the room, they will prefer to not spawn where this bomb was. So when one of these explodes, it becomes a safe area afterwards. So if Banchers wanted to, for example, after this explodes, he could walk over here because he knows that less bombs will be spawning here. That's just some coding that Blizzard did to make the fight easier. If you get a blaze back here or in range, just move away from your team a little bit and stand still. Don't go near the VIPs if possible. There's the frontal, and I believe in this POV we'll see the tank, going immune and soaking these. So this is Tanny running around and soaking these to make it safe for others so they don't actually accidentally hit them because they stick around for about 20 seconds. Again, another spot where we need to bait fire far. That's right in the middle of your screen, very obvious. And we're baiting far because the suppression cast is happening and we want less fire in the center ring so that the melee have more space to run to. Alright, simple. We're at 23 minutes, so okay, we have a bomb here, so just making space, making a little Venn diagram, and that's it. Looks like he's accidentally going to take this soak. That's fine. He just needs to press a personal and make sure he doesn't take 2 in a row. Let's skip ahead. And somewhere here, Giga Coils. This is where Rugrat will dunk. I don't think we'll see this, but we have a different POV for that. But Giga Coils is when the room is reducing in size. And if we get to this spot, there's just less room for the VIPs. And this is our 3 sets of ads. So this is VIP damage and my kick. This is alley kick with one of the team's DPS, the other team's DPS with Dasky Baz kick, and then there's the melee stack in here. And again, if you see one of these get to 1 or 2 seconds remaining, you can kick it. Just don't kick it early. And there may be some baiting needed. No, this looks scripted. So ranged have to go to the middle and then dodge to the outside, and then melee will be able to help with that ad after those circles go away. And then this one almost goes off on them, but they managed to take it out. And then we just do P2 over again. Tandy's team over here, Rugrat's team here, just with a little bit less space. Okay, I talked for a long time, but I wanted to save us time at raid tomorrow. So let me know if you have questions, and we will go over them. Ideally, ask your questions like right now. Don't wait for raid. Whenever you're watching this, just ask the questions. All right, cool. Thanks.